Welcome to a new episode of Cult Pop. I'm your host, Jim Hall. We are at the beautiful Novi Sheraton in Novi, Michigan. We're here for the Motor City Nightmares convention. And last year we were here and just had a whale of a good time. And this year we're looking forward to a great show. Bill Moseley from The Devil's Rejects and the Repo, the Genetic Opera, and many other great movies is going to be on today. Sid Haig, Captain Spaulding, come on, you know him, you love him. And an artist, Don Englund, an absolutely fantastic horror artist that just does spectacular work. And I think you'll be seeing his images and really be blown away. He does a lot of conventions across the U.S., so we're looking forward to talking with him. This convention's been a real hoot. As I tape this right now, you probably hear some music in the background. That's going to appear throughout the movie. This convention kind of breaks into a party every now and then, live music, people clapping, having a great time. It's just a lot of fun here. And I really want to recommend that in future years, we obviously have the links at our website, but this Motor City Nightmares convention, Jerry, Mike, and I agree, is just one of the most fun events to attend. A lot of great people, a lot of cool things going on, and you should definitely try to attend in 2013. Music, movies, tables with every type of movie, t-shirt, anything you could possibly want. So stay tuned. We hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome back to Cult Pop. I'm your host, Jim Hall, and with me now is Sid Haig. I'm just blown away to have Sid on the show today. First thing I did when I walked in the convention, I tried to walk around, find Sid. Didn't take me very long. Longest line there, it's for Sid Haig. Sir, thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm just blown away to have you on. Star of Devil's Rejects, Creature, House of a Thousand Corpses. You've got some great projects coming up. You are the man who created the iconic Captain Spaulding, brought him to life. We're just pleased as hell to have you on the show today.
I'm glad to be here.
Sid, the first thing I'm real curious about when I come to a convention like this is so many fans coming to see you, a line 20, 30 deep at times here to talk to you and see you. What is that like for, as an actor, to come and have that type of fandom come and embrace you like that?
There's all kinds of things and processes that you go through as an actor. And you're constantly trying to find work or find better work or get more money or whatever it is. And when it all comes down to the end, what you really are looking for is respect. And when I look up and there's 20 or 30 people standing there waiting to talk to me, that is the ultimate show of respect, because the horror film fans are the best around ever. They buy the tickets, they buy the DVDs, the t-shirts, the posters, every kind of crazy thing that we put in front of them, they just gobble it up. And I just appreciate it so much that, they can show that kind of affection for a genre of film that's really kind of crazy. But, I really appreciate it.
Well, the fans are so passionate, and the thing I get a kick out of is the real joy you see in the eyes when I see them make an eye contact with you, and they see that, oh my God, he's here. I'm going to get to see him. I'm going to get to take a picture. I'm going to get an autograph. And the real joy you bring to these people is really something special. I think that's just incredible.
Yeah, I'm fortunate. I am truly blessed that I've been able to have this experience with these people,
Reading up on you, I've been a fan for a long time, but the incredible career, you had quite a career in the 80s, appearing on all the shows people would know back in the day. And then you kind of got irritated with being typecast as the ruffian or the thug or whatever, and you kind of stepped away for a while. My understanding is Jackie Brown really kind of got you going again a little bit, and then things really started rolling, and now you're in iconic role after iconic role. Having a 30, 40-year career now, what is it like for you looking forward? Do you want to just stay in horror because you absolutely love this and people embrace you? Do you want to do branch out and do more stuff, or are you are such a rock solid guy in the horror sci-fi world that this is good for you?
I don't think I'll ever walk away from horror. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I do want to do other things because as a classically trained actor, I've got a lot of tools that I can use, and if they're sitting in the toolbox, not doing anybody any good. And so I try to stretch out and do different kinds of things.
You made an interesting comment to me off camera. You said, I'm home about 2 days out of the week. When I look on film websites and stuff, you've always got 2 or 3 movies in production, 2 or 3 movies in post-production, working on different things. You've got a couple of big projects coming up that you can tell us a little bit about. Why don't you tell us some of the things you're excited about coming around in 2012, 2013?
Yeah. First of all, to address my lack of being at home, last year I did 7 films and 12 conventions. Wow. I'm 72 years old. And that 2 days that I spent at home, I'm resting, okay? But I got a lot of things coming up. I'm in Rob Zombie's latest film, The Lords of Salem, in which I play a 1692 witch hunter, and with hair. What?
Excellent, all right.
Yeah. And I have a couple of other projects coming up. I know I'm doing something down the line around summertime. And I just keep working, because that's what I do. I love my job. So it's not really a job. It's like I make money at my hobby.
And you said you do how many conventions a year? About 12?
Yeah.
And I know the fans here in Michigan were just blown away that you were coming here. So for them, I thank you for showing up. I appreciate so much that you came here. And since we have about a minute left, we're talked about your film. Is there a website you want to promote or anything you want people to know about out there that we can promote for you?
Yeah, please come visit my my website. I keep things simple. It's sidhaig.com. Okay? And it's probably the safest place on the internet because I don't allow any funny business. People start biting at one another, and I just bounce them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're all here to help one another, and it's the atmosphere on that website is so cool because people are all behind one another. If somebody's got a problem, there's somebody there with a solution.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Haig, I thank you so much for taking your time. I know you have a long days at these conventions. I appreciate you coming down and taking the time, giving us some time on the show today. I'm a huge fan. I know my fans are big fans of yours, so thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it,
Okay.
sir.
Thank
you
you
very much.
All right.
Stay tuned, folks, for more Cult Pop. Welcome back to Cult Pop. I'm Jim Hall. We're at the 2012 Motor City Nightmares, looking for more cool people to talk to, and I found somebody cool in Don England. And I'm a big fan of Don's. He's a great artist, and he does conventions all over the U.S., and his arts was just recently featured in Horror Hound magazine. There was a nice article on him. And Don's here today, and Don, thanks so much for being on the show.
No problem.
I've been a big fan of yours for years. You do some just wonderful work in the horror genre, plus science fiction and creature type work, and incredible art. And tell me a little bit about your artistic influences.
My influences come primarily from comic book artists. Growing up reading comics, and I was a big fan of Todd McFarlane, Bernie Wrightston, Vincent Locke, just different horror or superhero books that I would pick up and just try to mimic their styles when I was younger, and being a fanboy. And then I just kind of tried to make I get compared to Wrightston, not that I'm that good, but a similar style.
Yeah, you have very similar style. Very cool.
Which is a compliment to me that people would even bring his name up when they look at my artwork. So,
well, with all the conventions I go to for the show, we've gotten to know each other over the years, and we have mutual friends, and we've become friendly. And every time at the conventions, you have a wonderful setup, great big table with all kinds of art, and people are always packed around it. But something that you do that I really like is that your original art also appears on many different types of shirts and different apparel and stuff. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, myself, I figure the best way for people to see my artwork is put it wherever I can. Whether it's a T-shirt, a magnet, a button, a print, whatever I can put it on, I'm going to put it on so you can see my artwork. Because otherwise, I don't know how they're going to see it, And I'll try to talk it up the best I can, and hopefully my artwork speaks for itself when people see it. So.
And I had mentioned in the open here that you had a great feature in Horror Hound talking about artists. They have a real nice feature talking about the different up-and-coming artists. And there was a real nice feature on you, and you said that you've noticed, being at a few conventions since then, how many people come out and say, hey, I really like that article about
Yes.
it. And talk about that a little bit and what that was like.
Well, the funny thing to start with that, I had actually talked to my wife right at the beginning of the year. I'm like, my goal this year is to be in one of these major horror magazines, have a feature or something. And a week later, they contacted me, said they want to do a feature on me, and I was like, oh, this is great. And ever since then, people have been coming up. People who've been coming to the convention for years, talking to me, didn't know my name.
Right.
They'd come up, buy a print, buy a shirt, whatever, and shake my hand and walk away. And now they were coming up saying, hey, Don, I seen your article, great, and this and that. And they knew my name, which was a good feeling. That was one of my goals for this year, so people knew my name.
Okay, now you've got some really iconic images and some that are, that as we'll show, people I'm sure are going to be blown away by. But what are some of your favorite images, and then what are some of your best-selling images that we'll see?
Some of my favorites aren't necessarily my best
Right,
sellers,
that's why
which is kind of funny.
yeah.
But one of my favorites is I have a Leatherface sitting in the chair, kind of a depressed look, kind of, and it's my favorite scene in the movie, and that's one that actually sells really good, and it's one of my favorites. One of my more recent ones was a Friday the 13th Jason collage with a variety of the different Jasons, and really pleased with how it came out, and that went over well also. But I've done things in the past with some older characters, like the older Frankensteins and stuff like that, and I think it might look really good, one of my better pieces, and it will sit there and not sell at all. I recently did a picture from The Shining. I didn't want to do Jack Nicholson because
Okay, that's the one we were talking
everybody
about.
does Jack Nicholson. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? Shelley Duvall, and have her in the scene, my favorite scene in the movie, when the axe is coming through the door and she's screaming and just so scared looking. And I did that, and everybody's coming up, oh, that's great that you did that. Do you have Jack Nicholson?
That is a very cool image, though, and people see that and really like that. I also like that away from the horror, you've got an incredible Batman that was a requested piece. Somebody hired you to do that piece, and it's for some advertisement, but that's a very cool image. So it's not
Pretty
just the
pleased with
horror.
that,
You do all
yes.
kinds of different stuff. And then on Facebook and on your website, you can see all kinds of stuff. I love a lot of your Friday the 13th stuff. I really think is amazing.
Thank you.
And but you also do what I really like is the old classics, the Universal monsters.
That's what I grew up watching, that and the Hammer films from the 60s. And I mean, it was on TV when we were growing up,
Right.
So you couldn't not see it. And I just love that stuff. I grew up with Godzilla and Planet of the Apes. So I still want to draw those. They don't sell as well for me, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
I want to draw them
There's some
because there's
beautiful
some
images. Yeah, I
they're
love
great
that.
looking characters. They're iconic, and I think everybody's portfolio, if they're into this stuff, should have it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
As far as things that sell, though, it's funny. One of the pieces that it's not my favorite piece. It's the Marvin the Martian with the alien.
Oh yeah.
It was one of those ones I did sketch. I wasn't going to finish it, and my wife, she's like, "You really need to finish that piece." And I finished it, and it is hands down the best-selling piece I've had in years. I sell more shirts, prints of that than anything else I've ever done.
Yeah, you've got an incredible table because there's about 30, 40 different shirts out there. You've got all kinds of prints available. You've got a backlog, but there's a lot of people that aren't going to be able to make a convention and may not be in the areas that you go all over the country, all over the Midwest. But let's tell the folks about your website and all the stuff you can get, just about everything you've ever done. Plus, you do take any type of request. You'll do pieces by request and stuff like that. So why don't you tell people about your website?
Okay, it's simple, www.donaldengland.com. I have pretty much most of my artwork. It's up there to see. Everything's available in a print, at least. Some things are available in shirts. If you see something on the website that's not available in a printer shirt, you just got to shoot me off an email and I'll get it off to you guys. I have skulls that I make, sculptures, different things, a little everything.
Yeah, the sculptures are really cool. I wanted to talk about
Something
that.
new I've kind of taken up.
Yeah,
and
that's some really neat stuff that I think people will really get into. That for Halloween, I'm
Yeah.
big into the Halloween stuff. There's a lot of not only props, masks, different things you can use for some of those skulls. Would be great to just make creatures around and stuff. That's pretty neat stuff.
it's something different to draw people over to my table. Everybody likes to take photos of them because it's different. It's dimensional, and it gives me just a different artistic outlet, basically. Do something else. And took up airbrushing, and I've been painting the stuff with the airbrush, and really like it, and just open up some new avenues with it. So.
Okay, well, all that stuff's available on your website, and they'll be able to link that up at our Cult Pop website. They can see your T-shirts, and as I mentioned, you're open for any kind of commission work. If people say, hey, I haven't seen this, would you consider this?
Always open for that.
And you're doing conventions just about year-round, so hopefully people can run up and say hi to you after they've seen you from the show.
Okay. Stop by and say hello.
Excellent. Don, thanks so much for being on the show. I'm a big fan of your work.
Thank you.
And, you're a great guy, so thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Folks, we're having a great time at this convention. I hope you're having a good time watching. Stay tuned for more Cult Pop. Welcome back to Cult Pop. I'm your host, Jim Hall, and I've just tracked down one of my all-time favorites. Bill Moseley's here at the convention, and when you walk around the convention once again, there's certain people that just have lines of 10, 20, 30 deep. Bill Moseley's one of them. He had fans wanting to talk to him all day. Bill, I'm so glad you could take the time to be with us today. Huge fan of all your past work, of course. Devil's Rejects, you are iconic in that role. People know you for that. Just absolutely incredible. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. You're working on something now, Texas Chainsaw 3D, which is going to be really cool. Repo, the genetic opera, just one of my favorites. Just a real crazy role in that.
Yep.
And I'm just pleased as hell to have you on the show today. And I just wanted to talk a little bit. I've been asking the actors on the show, when you come to something like this, some actors don't really have the opportunity to interact with fans except in a nuisance type way. And I'm sure, although that does happen at a convention, 90% of it has got to just be fans that are just blown away and happy to see you. Just, I see people, they make eye contact with you, their eyes light up, they're going to be able to see you, get a picture, get an autograph.
Sure.
What type of reinforcement or feeling is that for an actor to be able to interact with people like that at these conventions?
Well, for the most part, I like people. I mean, I've eaten quite a few, and especially at these conventions, it's a lot of fun to have them come up. It's always nice to hear people say that. I consider it a high compliment when they say you scared me to death, and they look at me and they go, "Oh man, you really freaked me out." And I take that as a high compliment. I mean, I thank them because what I hear is job well done, and I say, well, good, because that's really what I was trying to do. And I think they expect me to act like some of those characters. They find it surprising that I aren't like those characters, and actually, all those characters are in there somewhere. But for the most part, they're they don't come out. They don't come out until unless provoked with either a big contract or some kind of a violent situation.
Well, I'm one of the people that when I first met you, I said, hey, this is just from the Devil's Rejects, and I am a big fan. I've watched some of your other interviews, and just you're such a nice, low-key guy, and the characters are just not that, just ready to kick ass, take names, and stick a knife right through your neck if need be.
Absolutely.
And that does talk of your magnificent acting skills to just terrify people and really be just a hell of a nice guy and low-key.
The trick is, I got to say, I mean, it's so easy for, I think, probably all of us in this room and this convention maybe, to go to those psychotic, violent, crazy places. But the important thing is to be able to get back in time for lunch.
Okay. That's the secret? That's your acting?
Yeah, because some people go there and then they can't get back. They kind of stay there. They stay in character. They bring it home. I got kids, girlfriend. I got pets. You don't want to bring that stuff home. But I've figured out a way to do that. I actually, it is called acting. And again, I think other people, different people have different approaches. maybe the method type people like to stay there and just, sleep on a, I don't know, pile of bones maybe. I don't know what, gets them to that place. But for me, I just use my imagination. And, when they say cut, I, stop working.
Well,
So it's good for all of us.
well, I
actually,
enjoy
yeah.
when you work, and I enjoy the
Yeah.
fact that you're low key off camera.
Yeah.
We've got some cool stuff we want to help you promote. You've got some cool
Right.
things coming up in 2012, 2013. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. That's
Right.
in post production right now. What
Yep.
can you tell us about that?
Well, we shot it last summer down in Bossier City, Louisiana. I shouldn't probably say that because then it would be really more the Louisiana Chainsaw Massacre, but in fact it is. But it's supposed to look like Texas, and it should be coming out, I guess, January 2013. Originally, it was supposed to be Halloween of 2012, but I guess they've pushed it. Maybe it's complicated with all the 3Ds floating around. Actually, it's funny because a lot of people wonder if I were playing Chop Top, my character from Texas Chainsaw 2, and in fact, I'm not. I think the company that is making this got the rights to the original Chainsaw, and there is no Chop Top in the original Chainsaw. So what happens is I was actually given the part of the cook, which
Okay.
is the Jim Seedow role, who is in the first one and the second one. The late great Jim Seedow, and to me it was a great honor to be entrusted with Jim's legacy. We were pals, Jim and his wife Ruth. We were exchanged Christmas cards and all that kind of stuff. So it's very sad when he passed away, but I really considered it a great honor to be entrusted with his role. And it's so funny because it's like for Chop Top to come back and play the cook, it's kind of like Curly coming back and playing Moe in a
Right.
remake of the Three Stooges. So, but I did my best. It was very hot. I tried to do my best Jim Seedow impersonation while also kind of making it my own role. But it's Jim, so I did the best I could. But I sweated a lot, but I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. Gunnar Hansen's in the movie.
Okay.
Marilyn Burns, who was, the girl, obviously the blonde that escapes the Chainsaw Massacre in the original, and also Jeff Dugan, who played the original Grandpa, is back to play Grandpa.
Wow.
He
Okay.
was actually a very young man when he played it in the original Chainsaw, and he comes back and plays Grandpa again, which was a hoot.
I'm very curious. I like to ask actors with the 3D stuff. 3D, some people either seem to hate it or love it. I think anything that adds to someone's enjoyment of the film is a positive thing. So I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on 3D and everything from, I remember as a kid just being so like, oh my God, this is magnificent. And even as a young adult or young man seeing films,
Right.
and I think it adds something to some fun films. And I think to
can.
this, Texas Chainsaw, I think it'll be a hoot. And I think it'll add a hell of a lot to it.
It's interesting because when we were shooting the movie, there was a whole other group. I mean, there was, of course, in the production tent, you've got, the director, the producer, you've got some, people like checking the monitors. Well, now you have this little cadre of 3D wizards. And they're like checking, they've got slide rule, I guess not slide rules anymore, but they've got all these little calculations and they're checking it out. And so what they do is they check out what the director wants to shoot, and then they go ahead on top of that and they say, well, that's nice, but if you do this, you can actually add this 3D effect here. So they're kind of like, kind of the superpower that informs the director how to supercharge the scenes. And I don't know. I mean,
For an actor, is that a pain in the ass, or is that
not for me because
no.
I mean, you're just supposed to do what they tell you to do, and however they come up with that is fine. Because hey. But I have to say that my favorite 3D movie was when I was a kid, we saw The Mask.
Okay, yeah.
And 13 Ghosts. But that was 3D with like the weird little plastic glasses
Yes.
with like the blue and the orange.
blue? You're right,
Yeah.
on one side. Yeah.
And so that was kind of cool. But my favorite 3D was it was kind of a softcore porno movie called Swingin' Stewardesses. I don't know if you ever get a chance to see that, but that was some awesome 3D.
Well, I'll be,
So I only hope that
with your
chainsaw,
recommendation, I'll be
comes
sure to
up,
check it
yes.
out.
I hope it only gets up to that.
If it can
that
live
high
up to those
standard. Yeah,
expectations and high standards, we'll be all right. Well, we'll definitely be looking for that. We're big fans of all your work. I'm real pleased to have
good.
you on. I wanted you to mention, though, you were kind of telling a story off camera about your shirt.
Yes, actually, Transylvania. A lot of people think that it's like a Rocky Horror type reference, but there is actually a Transylvania University. It's in Lexington, Kentucky. It's one of the oldest liberal arts colleges in the United States. When I was actually at a convention in Lexington, Scarefest, last year, my older daughter Jane and I were walking around the town, and we came upon Transylvania University, which is a very beautiful old campus, and we went to the gift shop, and there were a bunch of Transylvania University clothing items, so I saw this and fell in love with it.
Well, the perfect uniform or,
Yes.
or shirt for this type of convention.
Exactly.
Bill, we've got a minute or two left. I want you to be able to promote anything you want, website, anything else you want.
I did want to give a shout out to the Devil's Carnival. For all of you who are Repo fans, Repo the Genetic Opera, which came out a couple years ago, directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, who directed several of the Saw movies. And also, it was co-created by a guy named Darren Smith and a guy named Terrence Zdunich. Well, what's happened is now Darren Bousman and Terrence have conspired to bring you the Devil's Carnival, which actually they're touring right now. It's about an hour long. So it's not quite a feature, it's not quite a short. They call it an episode. And it's got 9 songs in it. I'm in it as the magician, and I sing and dance in it, which is, I make best effort, let's put it that way. And anyway, they're in the middle of a 45-day, 37-city road trip, taking the Devil's Carnival around and, taking like an old theater in each town and showing the Devil's Carnival, and so that's what's going on right now. So I look forward to more of that. And also, actually, from here I leave tomorrow. I fly to Hartford, Connecticut, and from there go on to a town called Canterbury, where I'm doing a movie for the next 2 weeks called Dead Souls.
Ooh, I like
So that should be fun, and that'll be out probably, I guess sometime maybe spring of next year or something like that.
Okay, and we've got the Texas Chainsaw 3D to look forward to
Right.
also in 2013, you
Yeah.
said. And, do
And
you have a website you want to promote?
Yes, I have a website. My website is choptopsbbq.com.
Okay.
CHOPTOPSBBQ.com. My Twitter is ChopTopMosley.
Okay.
And there's like kind of a, like a pencil sketch of Chop Top. That's my little icon there. I'm on Facebook, and I still have a MySpace page. I don't know. Have you done MySpace in a while?
Haven't been on MySpace in about 5
Yeah,
years.
exactly. Also, I have a band. I used to have a band with a guitar player named Buckethead called Corn
Buckethead,
Bugs.
yeah, okay.
And we had a band called Corn Bugs, and now I've got a new band called Spider Mountain.
Okay.
And we have a CD out called No Way Down.
And people can find out about that at your website.
Yeah,
I
if you
assume,
go to choptopsbbq.com, there's a section where you can get pictures and posters and CDs and different things like that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll link you up at our website, get people over to that.
Okay,
we'll
that's great.
help promote it.
Good.
Bill, I know these conventions get really, really busy, a lot of demands on you. I sincerely appreciate you taking the time
Well,
to
it's
come do
my
the show
pleasure.
today.
Great.
And I am a big fan, and I thank you
All
for
right,
being
well,
on.
thank you, and thanks everybody.
Folks, Bill Mosley, I really am a huge fan. It's just spectacular to be able to run into folks like this at these type of conventions. That's why I love coming out to these. I hope you're enjoying this show as much as I'm enjoying bringing it to you. Stay tuned for more Cult Pop. Well, folks, that wraps up another cool episode of Cult Pop. I just had a really fun time. Absolutely love the people we had on today. I'm a big fan of Sid Haig and Bill Mosley's. The art is just spectacular that you saw from Don, so I hope you check out all of their websites. And we thank you for watching. And as always, if you saw anything you want and want to revisit, go to our website, cultpop.com, and then you can also link up to all the guests we've had on. We thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you next time.